Hi, I'm Wesley Ferreira, Clarinet professor at Colorado State University. And today I'm going to discuss how to prepare for this year's Colorado All-State Band and Orchestra-based clarinet audition. In this video, our focus will be the Weissenborn Advanced Studies Etude No. 19, adapted for bass clarinet by William Rhodes. The etude is marked Allegro con brio, and this year's All-State audition asks that you perform at quarter note equals 138. This is the tempo that I will be performing at in my demonstration to come. If you cannot play this quickly, don't fret. It's more important that you play with fluidity, good tone, correct notes, and that you're paying attention to the stylistic indications. Alternatively, if you are able to perform this etude technically at a faster tempo, you are free to do so. But just make sure that you're not doing it at the expense of what we just spoke about. When jurors listen to auditions, we want to hear that the performer is not ignoring the basic characteristics of playing their instruments well. It will be very important for you to begin learning and practicing this etude slowly, with a metronome. Play it all slurred for a long period of time until you are sure that you can play all the correct notes. Be patient and do not increase the tempo until your fingers feel ready to move to a faster tempo. This etude is made up almost entirely of continuous eighth notes, with very few places to breathe. There are quite a few accidentals written into this etude too, and it already contains 3 flats in the key signature. So playing it slowly and not worrying right away about the articulation markings will allow you to pay better attention to playing the correct notes. Now, inevitably, you are going to encounter a passage with difficult fingerings. So I'm going to suggest a practice technique to help ingrain finger movements. I call this practice technique playing with alternating rhythms, and you should use it whenever you encounter a passage in this etude that does not automatically feel easy for you to play technically. The alternating rhythms practice is a way to help you isolate particular measures and improve upon them. Let's use measures 1 and 2 as an example of how to practice with this technique. When using this technique, play all slurred, because we're just working on our air, tone, and finger movements, not articulation. We're going to take the continuous eighth notes and alternate the rhythm 5 different ways. You should begin at a metronome marking that is slow, a metronome marking that you can execute these well, with good tone, and even and relaxed finger movements. So, first, we're going to swing the rhythm, playing the first note long and the second note short. Again, I'll demonstrate slowly, measures 1 and 2. Repeat this many times until you both hear that the notes are being played evenly in this pattern and feel that it's easy to play and under your fingers. Next, you reverse swing the rhythm, playing the first note short and the second note long. Again, practice this pattern over and over with the metronome until you both hear that the notes are being played evenly in this pattern and feel that it's easy to play and under your fingers. Next, play a triplet pattern. This pattern can be tricky for people at first, mostly because the patterns on the page are beamed in groups of 4, and you're playing them in groups of 3, but stick with it. If it's tricky for you, it means that you found a wrinkle that you need to iron out. After working this pattern up until it's comfortable under your fingers, you move to the 4th alternating rhythmic pattern. 2 fast notes, 1 slow. Practice the passage in this rhythm until it's comfortable under your fingers. The final pattern is the reverse of this one. 1 slow, 2 fast. After practicing the 5 alternating rhythmic patterns, you should then go back to play the passage straight. If you spent the time practicing to make each one of the 5 alternating rhythmic patterns feel comfortable and smooth, then you will find that when you go back to playing in the straight pattern, that it's so much easier now. It's amazing, really. As you begin to increase the tempo on this piece, on your metronome, you may find that you will need to go back to this practice technique regularly. Be patient. Record yourself every day and let your own ears be your guide as to whether you are ready to move up a tempo to a faster click on the metronome. After you feel that you can play this etude pretty well, all the correct notes played evenly, you should add in the articulation markings. Now, word of caution. I find that many bass clarinet students tend to bite when playing accents and when leaping from the low register to the second register. This etude has many marcato accents and crosses the break regularly. Pay attention to whether you're biting on the mouthpiece in these spots. Because the bass clarinet reed is so flexible against the mouthpiece, biting really adversely affects your tone and your ability to play well. In addition, I find that many young bass clarinet players tend to squeeze their throats and squeeze their fingers on the keys when crossing the break and playing into the second register. This will not allow you to play your best. Instead, do not tense up, use a lot of air, and allow the air to work for you. Okay, let's talk about where to breathe. Other than the 2 obvious spots, the 8th rest in measure 12 and the fermata over the bar line at the end of measure 28, you're going to have to create your own breathing spots. Though not ideal, anytime you break up a passage to breathe, you should slow down the tempo slightly in order to stretch time. You'll notice in my upcoming performance that I've chosen to demonstrate breathing spots at the end of measures 7, 19, 24, and 36. You can use this as a guide. The key is to make all of your added breathing spots sound musical. A final word about style. This etude is marked allegro con brio. The term con brio means to play with vigor. Use consistent and forward-moving breath support and adhere to the written crescendi and decrescendi. These aspects will help you to achieve the character. And don't be afraid to add air shaping to sections of the etude where no indication is written. There's only one dynamic marking written at the beginning, a mezzo forte. But this doesn't mean that you cannot use dynamics while shaping phrases. As you get closer to your audition day, you will have been used to playing regularly with a metronome. And in the days leading up to your audition, you should begin to play without it and feel that you can play with time a little bit so that your performance does not sound too metronomic. It's been a pleasure sharing my thoughts on this etude. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments section below or contact me via email. Also, please feel free to email sound or video files if you'd like me to review them and offer some suggestions. I hope to see many of you at the All-State Band and Orchestra weekends this year, and even at the various honor bands in our state that use this same etude. Good luck with your auditions.
Thank you.